Hello, friends. Welcome to Listen and Draw today. We're going to do the letter V. V. If you can find the letter V, it looks like this right here, capital V, lowercase v, and get your paper, your pencil, and we will get started. All right, boys and girls, today we're going to make a vulture. Do you know what a vulture is? Well, we're going to learn about a vulture today. A vulture is a bird that you often see along the side of the road or in a field, and it eats dead animals. And I don't know about you, but that makes me go, ew, right? But you know what? We really need them. Otherwise, we would have these dead animals all over the place. And in the summer, we see them a lot because other animals come out in the summer that hibernate during the winter, and they try to cross the road and they get hit. So even though it's kind of yucky, they're kind of important. So I picked the turkey vulture to talk about because the turkey vulture is from Michigan. Michigan has a turkey vulture. What I learned about the turkey vulture is it doesn't spend all winter up north in Michigan. It's smart. It goes south where it's warm. So during the winter, we must see different vultures and not a turkey vulture. So when they go south, that's called migrating. Another thing that I learned about turkey vultures is that they have a great sense of smell. They can smell things for a long ways away. And the reason that's important is because that's how they get their food. Those dead animals, that's their food. That's how they live. So if they couldn't smell them and they couldn't find them, they wouldn't have anything to eat, would they? And they would die. So they're pretty important, even though we kind of go, yuck. And I think the exact same thing. I learned that their wingspan, so how far they can go this way, is 6 feet. So a lot of times adult men, sometimes women, but more men, are about 6 feet tall. So if you had a vulture that went like on its side like this, their wingspan could be as long as that person is tall. That's really long, isn't it? Yes. But that's important because they fly. And I also learned that when they fly, their arms are like in a V shape. And so it helps them to be able to soar or go a really long way without having to flap their wings again. So that's kind of cool. And I learned that they live 10 to 20 years. If they're in the wild, usually about 10 years. If they're in captivity, that means they're not it means that they're like at maybe a zoo or maybe at someone's farm or something like that. Then they might live longer. So that's what I learned about vultures. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our vulture. Because if we draw it first, then we're going to have it in our brain, what it looks like. So you have your pencil ready. You have your booklet ready. If you don't have your booklet with you, just use your writer's notebook or a regular piece of paper. So we have capital V, lowercase v. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little circle. Can you make a circle? And then we're going to give our vulture a neck. Okay, they have a neck, just like we do. Then, up on their head, we're going to give them a beak. And their beak has to be pretty pointed because that's what they use to get their food. And then we put another little line like right here. So that must be like the bottom, the underneath, like the chin. Then we're going to give them a collar. And it can be kind of pointy like this. And you just do it the best way you can. Now after that, there's just a couple more things we're going to do. First of all, we're going to make like a teardrop. And it's going to be kind of around like this and back up like this. Kind of looks like a feather. And then next to that, we're going to come over here more. And we're going to close it like that. If I'm going too fast, just pause it. Now, all we have left is to make the tiny legs and feet. So, very tiny. Let's see. The one I'm looking at, they made 4 toes. I don't know if those are called, if they call them toes, but 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am going to fix this one just a little bit. I made the leg, but not the ankle. All right, so there is my vulture, and I guess I should give him an eye so that he can see what he is eating. All right, so we have capital V and lowercase v. Capital V, lowercase v. Can you do that? I know you can. Okay, now we're going to write a sentence. I am going to move this closer so you can see. You don't need to be seeing me as long as you can see what we're going to write. So we're going to start our sentence with vultures. So capital V, because we're starting a sentence. You see how I'm being very careful to use my lines? Okay, vultures eat. And what did we say they eat? Dead They eat dead what? Animals. Good. Okay, do you see how I have my finger spaces? I have one more finger space, and I should be able to fit animals on here very well. And I always end with some kind of a punctuation mark. All right, so go ahead and write your sentence. Pause the video so you can write that sentence. And then below that, I'm going to have to move this back so you can see it and maybe move this down. Here we go. Okay, my paper does not have both lines, but I believe your paper has both lines. If not, then this is how you can practice. You can do capital V, lowercase v, finger space. Don't forget that finger space. Capital V, lowercase v, finger space. Capital V, lowercase v, finger space. And you can practice that all the way down. Now, if you have two lines and you would like to put capital on one line, lowercase on the other, you can do that too. But I want a finger space between each of them so they're not super, super smushed together and very sloppy. Because whenever we write, we want to do our very best. So let's check to make sure that our picture and our words match. So I made my vulture. Vulture starts with V, which says V, and this is my sentence. Vultures eat dead animals. So did I make a vulture? Yes. Now, I am not going to draw a dead animal. Yuck. If you want to do that, go for it. All right. This ends our lesson on Listen and Draw. Please make sure that you upload this for your teacher so that they can see what an amazing job you did. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.